Hi all, and welcome to my channel, Fred Makes Things, and another project revisit video for you. If you've tuned in hoping to see the Sewers Club unboxing video, because we are indeed on the first Wednesday of the month, I will let you know that I do not have that box. I'm not sure where that box is. The tracking number is not working. So I'm not sure when I'm going to get it. Sewers Club got it out late as well. I only got notice of shipment 2 days ago, so on Monday. And they usually try to get them out on the 28th of the previous month. So I'm not sure what's happening with it, but it should be up next week, next Wednesday. So I'm just swapping these two videos out. Depending on how difficult that project is, I am expecting to get that up the week after, but we'll know more when I see the project. So for today, we are doing a project revisit instead. This was planned as next week's video, but here we are. If you don't know what the project revisit videos are, or if you're new to the channel, hi, welcome. But what revisits are basically me looking at projects that I've done in the past, usually within the month from the year before. So we're in March, so I'm looking at March's projects from last year, and seeing if there's anything that I want to change or talk about or do or remake in general with changes. So often I like the base of the project, but I don't find that it works well for me. February's video was me revisiting a wallet that I didn't really like when I made it the first time around, and I asked myself if it was maybe like the material or the pattern and stuff that was used on the fabric, right, the butterflies, and I wasn't sure if that was what was like turning me off of the wallet or what. So I remade it and decided whether or not I liked it again. And that's very similar to what we're going to be doing this month. If you've seen some of my videos in the past, especially like some of my December videos, these will already look very familiar to you. I've talked about them before. I made both of these last March. When I say March, I mean April. Last April. My mind is still in March, even though it's April 4th. But anyway, we have the Sewers Club Reversible Grocery Bag. This was the April project for last year. And then we have the Simple Sailor Toiletry Bag, which was a pattern from a previous box that I didn't get. So I bought this pattern last year to try out on my channel. I like both of these projects a lot. They are some of my favorite Sewers Club projects that I've made. So you might be wondering why we're revisiting them if they're some of my favorite projects. And I will make the official reason at the end of the video, but as you see me talk, you're probably going to figure out why I'm talking about them. You've seen them in December's videos, my Sewers Club project or year in review, because I talked about them there, how they are some of my favorite projects. I also remade these for Christmas gifts that I brought back to Canada with me. And yeah, like I really, really like these projects. So first we're gonna talk about the Simple Sailor Toiletry Bag and why I'm talking about it again after having already talked about it in 2 previous videos and then the original video as well. So the first reason I'm talking about this is I wanted to give you an update on wear. Now that we've had it for a year, what does it look like? What does it compare to? I'm not going to talk about how I made this because, like I said, I've already talked about that. I talked about that in last week's video, really, and then I've made a dedicated video for it. So if you want to see the dedicated video on how to make this toiletry bag, my steps discussing it at least, here's an iCard for you. You can take a look. But here is the original bag in all of its glory. I caved in the side a little bit. But this was the one that I originally made for my husband last year. I made it out of this Breton fisherman fabric that I got in France. These beautiful swallow fabric that I picked up at Joann Fabrics, and this beautiful like blue fabric on the interior that matches everything, also picked up from Joann. Instead of using a zipper by the yard, I bought like an 18-inch navy blue zipper to work with this, and I used some blue thread that I already had. I really like this bag. I really like the size of this bag, how much it can hold, how compact you can make it if you don't need it, all that jazz. My husband has had this now for a year, and he uses it on every trip that he takes. It fits all of his toiletries, right? Which is really nice for him. He really enjoys it. And as you can see, after a year of use, like there's no issues with it. It's not even dirty, which kind of surprises me. He's used it on probably 6 or 7 business trips, I want to say. He's had it, like taken it twice this year at least. 5 or 6 last year. Like he uses it a lot. And then he took it to Canada for like the 2 weeks that we were in Canada this year. So he uses it a lot. He really, really likes it. And it's working really well for him. My only critique about this bag that I have, I think from last year, is that I don't like these zipper tabs. I don't like how they stick out so much. But yeah, so this is the original bag. Then I remade this bag a bunch of, like 3 times at Christmas, following the exact pattern. I changed it a little bit, but this is one of the leftover bags from Christmas. Still an 18-inch long zipper, made exactly the same way. So it's like your top is, for this one, it's the dragon fruit. The bottom is this floral. The interior and this zipper tabs are this stripy fabric, bar fabric, I'm not sure. All of the colors work really well together. I used fat quarters to make them, 3 different fat quarters. And I continued with the zipper tab on this one, but then I changed it up for the other 2. The other 2 were given away as gifts over Christmas. This one nobody took, so now I have him as something to hold extra sewing things. And again, I really enjoy having it. Then what I started doing, and what I've done in these other 2 or 3 bags that I'm going to mention in a minute, is I started doing like a flat handle on the side instead. So instead of having it poke out, you have like some extra stability given from these handles, and it still lets you hold on to something while you're zipping up the bag. So that's really cool. We'll talk about this bag in a second. And then if you saw last month's video, you know that I made this little guy using the same ideas from this bag. All the same things, the same kind of binding on the inside, right? I just didn't, because it's small, I didn't do any kind of side seams or tabs or handles or anything like that. It's just a cute little bag. Right now it's storing some extra thread that I have like duplicate colors of and stuff, just to free up some space in my little thread box that I have. So this pattern is very versatile, and it's very easy to recreate. There's a whole bunch of different like tutorials and stuff on Instagram talking about this bag as well, or a type of bag like this. They call them like Holland bags, I think. So they're really pretty cool. So those were like my initial ideas, and then I started kind of playing around with them. I made this one here, and this one here. So I want to talk about like kind of the similarities and differences with these. This one here is a gift for a friend. I gave him choice of fabrics. He chose this, the navy anchors, skulls, and dolphins. I paired that with a light blue base. and a white polka dot on the interior. I doubt that the picture or the camera will pick that up, but it's a white polka dot with the binding and everything like that. This fabric is a little thinner, so this bag doesn't look as stable. Same idea, and I did the handles on the side. This anchor in the center was purely coincidental, but it looks so cool. And here's this side. With this bag, I started using zipper by the meter, by the yard zippers. I ordered a bucket ton of them off of Amazon for a really, really good price. I have a whole bunch of different colors. I'm sure that you saw, like that other color was like an aqua color. This one here is a navy. This one here is like a light purple. And then this one's like an electric blue. And they are all from one order. So anyway, this is still the same proportions and same cutting instructions as this dude here. But then I kind of started playing and I said, well, what if I did like a solid bag? And that's what this one is. It's a purple zipper, these beautiful metallic gold butterflies, right, with this kind of I don't know, galaxy kind of feeling print. It's purples and blues and some green. The interior is this really cool purple. Again, 2 fat quarters to make this with purple binding on the inside, so it's nice and cohesive. And what I did differently with this is I ran like a top stitch where I thought the corners would sit so that everything holds together really well and you have some extra stability, because I saw with this guy he doesn't have a lot of stability and I wanted to give them a bit more, so I did that, and it holds its shape really well. Like, it has nothing in it holding it together, and you can see how well it sits compared to this guy here. Right? And then I made this one too out of some extra fabric from the next thing I'll be talking about. We have this beautiful reversible fabric on the top, like kind of palm fronds or fans or something like that. The bottom is this really beautiful large polka dot, and I cut this one so that it was kind of like the base and sides are one color, and then the rest of it is all this beautiful blue, right? So like that, and then when you turn it on its side, you don't really get any of the polka dot. You just get this beautiful solid color. And then the interior is I did a smaller dot. All of the binding is the same color as the dot. I started putting tags on this part here so that it kind of holds or looks really nice and cohesive. So that's this one. Now you're asking, why am I talking about the different ways of making this bag? I just wanted to basically touch on the fact that this is a really good base pattern and gives you a really good walkthrough on how to make these bags. And then when you get comfortable with enough with them, you can really kind of make them your own. You can start off with like what the original kinds of looks like, if you like these tabs sticking out like this, or you can change it so you can have tabs sitting like this. This and these are basically the same size. And I made these a little bit longer so that you can slide them in and sew them together. There are tutorials again on Instagram on how you do that, but basically what you do is that you skip the step of attaching it when you're doing the zipper. After you cut the notches to create the binding, right? Or when you're getting ready to sew this binding, you take this here, which is, I want to say it's a 6 or a 4. I think it's a 4 by like 6 inch piece of fabric, folded in the traditional Sewers Club way so that it's, You start with something like a long wide rectangle, fold it in half lengthwise. So you have a slightly smaller long rectangle, open it up, iron your raw edges into the center of the seam that you made, sew it all down, finish it off. That's how you make your handle. That's how these are made. And then when you're going to insert them into the binding, I just line this like up with the middle of this with where the join sits, so that it covers the join really nicely, and it's nice and straight. This one isn't as straight as I would like it to be. Also, I'm seeing I didn't catch this here, so I'll have to fix that, but that's not a big deal. But like you can see, it covers up where the join is, kind of gives it like a finished look, but it's really pretty simple and straightforward. As long as this is wide enough for you to feel comfortable with it being a handle, it can be any size you want it to be. And you can change the dimensions of this a lot too. Like, it's a very basic, very easy to follow pattern. And like I said, once you're comfortable with it, you can customize it any way you want. Like this one is really simple to make because you only need 2 pieces of fabric. You don't have to worry about coordinating colors or anything like that. And you can cut out some cutting steps, some cutting and sewing steps, which is kind of cool. So really love this bag. Really love using these bags. Really enjoy making these bags. And now let's talk about this reversible grocery bag. Same kind of idea applies. Here's the original bag that I made last year. It's gone through the wash quite a few times. It would look better if I bothered to iron it after coming out of the wash, but I didn't. So please forgive the handles and stuff for being a bit creased. They use this beautiful batik. It's a reversible batik, so the interior and the exterior are basically the same. They call it reversible because of that, so you can flip this inside out if you want to for carrying your stuff. All right, your handles will still work, but instead of having your binding pointing out, your binding is pointing in, so your finished edge looks like a little bit different. So here's it pointing in, flip it over, here's it pointing out. Honestly, it doesn't really make a difference. I just keep it like this. It folds up really well. And what's really cool about this is the way that they have like all of the fabric kind of accordioned together. So it wraps around and then you can snap it. All right, pretty simple in its design. A little bit of work to put it together, but pretty simple in general. And then what's really neat, like I said, is how it accordions. So it's all folded together on one edge or on the edges, and then when it's filled, right, you have all of this space unfurl for it. So like I said, this has been washed, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. It does not make like a good grocery shopping bag. It's a little awkward to use in that regard. But what I use it for mostly are quick things. So like if I'm running into Joann and I'm picking up a bunch of like fabric and thread and stuff like that, I can shove it into here. If I'm at the dollar store, same idea. After I purchase my items, I shove them in here. If I have to run to the grocery store and buy a couple of things, right, some vegetables, some cans, some whatever, again, it goes into here. This lives in my purse for the most part, and I pull it out when I need it. I really like how light it is, how compact it is, everything about it. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is this snap. I hate using a snap. I hate sewing in a snap. So, like, really, that, to me, that's really the only downside to this bag. I made 4 of these for Christmas. Everybody took them. I had none left over at the end of Christmas. So I think that speaks to how well these bags hold up, how nice they look, how easy they are. What I did with the Christmas ones is I didn't add a snap, and instead I rolled them. So I offset my binding a little bit, my ends a little bit, like you can see here, and then I rolled them like this, wrapped the strap around, and then kind of tied it off like that, so that I didn't have to sew anything on. But that was the only difference that I made for Christmas. So now let's look at what I made this year. In any way, it's good to keep your edges just a little offset in general. So when you fold it, everything sits together nicer. Like this works with sheets and towels and stuff too. I always fold one of my edges in a little bit, so when everything is folded, they come together really nicely like that. I figured that out when I was working in the bedding store. So what did I do with these? Well, I went to Sewers Club and I ordered more batik. At Christmas, I did these really beautiful African-inspired batiks. I had a beautiful orange one. I had a beautiful blue and white one, which I've already shown you, and you will see again in a second. And yeah, like I said, they went really fast. So this time around, I made these beautiful purple ones. I haven't decided if I'm going to roll them or add a snap to them yet. That's a question for you in the comments. But here they are. I did this beautiful purple and this like golden yellow color. I did exactly the same thing. I did a yellow contrasting thread. Here it is pulled out. I'll post a picture for you if you want to see what this fabric looks like all opened up for you, so you can get a better idea on the print. Again, they're reversible and pretty lightweight. So I made three like this. I have two in front of you because the third one still needs to have its threads clipped. Then I made two more like this, right? This is the exact same fabric as that bag I just showed you, and as the Christmas bags that I made as well. It's really beautiful, I don't know, what do you call it? Frond fabric, maybe? Again, here's a photo of it all unfurled. And then for this, I did the same kind of random dot that is inside of the toiletry bag that I just showed you. I made two of these, I believe. Again, I'm not sure if I want to roll them or add snaps to them. And then I made two of this one. Again, the same random polka dot fabric, same construction, right? I didn't change anything about them. These are vary a little bit in size just because I wasn't paying as close attention to cutting them. So one of these purple ones is smaller than the others, but I can't quite remember. Yeah, I made two of these and three of these. So here's this fabric here unfurled. Again, here's a photo for you. Right, same construction on all of them. This one's quicker to talk about because I didn't do any changes. I just made a bunch of them. So here's two of them. The third one is also waiting for its threads to be snipped. I couldn't find them until I remembered I used them as filler for a photo that I had to take for last week. Yeah, so I used them as a photo filler, or as a filler for like the bags and stuff for last week's thumbnail, and then I forgot to take them out, and I only just found them a couple of days ago, and I haven't gotten around to clipping the threads. So those two are left. So here are the new version. I don't know if you can see all three of them. Here's the original. So washed a few times, brand spanking new. So I think they're really, really cool. I don't know if I said, but these here are reversible fabric as well. So the interior is exactly the same as the exterior. So my question for you with these guys is, do you like the idea, actually I can show you, do you like the idea of having them rolled? And with like tied off, nice and simple like this? Or do you like them flat with a snap? Let me know in the comments which you prefer. I have enough snaps to snap them if you want, like. They're all hand stitched in or rolled to make it a little bit easier on me. Let me know. I'm really curious to hear. So like I alluded to at the beginning of this video, and why I'm talking about things that I had already remade, or that I've already, that I enjoy so much that I don't really need to talk about improvements on them. And that is because I'm thinking of selling them. Well, actually, I'm going to sell them, I should say. I'm just not sure the mode in which I'm going to sell them. So I'm thinking of starting up an Etsy shop. I haven't done anything with it yet. I've just created a storefront, I think it's a storefront. I've created something with my name, Fred Makes Things, but I don't have anything published to it, and I don't know if the storefront is live yet or not. I don't know how Etsy works quite on that regard yet. I still need to take like product photos, write up the descriptions, do the postings and things like that. But I wanted to come to you all first, the people who watch these videos, for your input on these things. Do you like the idea of these like reversible shopping bags? Would you kind of like the idea of picking up one for yourself? Same goes for these toiletry bags. Do you like the idea of them? Would you consider purchasing one from me? Well, from anyone really, but from me online. Is that something that you would be interested in? I ask because this channel kind of gives me the confidence to be able to do this. This channel has had me sew enough, or given me the reason to sew enough, that I feel confident in my ability to create these things. I have a few other things in the works for the shop as well. Hint, hint. One of them is going to be the June project revisit. And probably launch video at the same time. But I'd really be curious to hear what you all have to say, whether you'd be excited to purchase something like this, or whatnot. I'm still gonna probably make an Etsy store, but I really would appreciate your input. Do you like or which version of these do you like, rolled or snapped? Do you like how my interpretation on these are? I would do a whole bunch of different styles, some of the original cuttings, so that like the way that they're sewn, some more like this. Do you like how I've done the handles like this, or do you like the original zipper pulls better? I'd be really curious to hear all of that stuff in the comment section below. My other question is how much in your mind would you consider spending on these? I know that different states have different price points on different items, right? Like there's like the Big Mac Index or whatever it's called that talks about like where different things cost and how much they cost, things like that. So how much would you think about spending on them? I've been toying with the idea of making these bags around $25 American. It's all in US dollars, right? These around $25. And these also around $25, $30. Let me know, is that like a price point that you think is comfortable, or is it like too high, or do you think I should go higher? I'd really like to hear the input of the people that I interact with the most, because I care more for your opinions than some random person's opinions, if that makes sense to you. This is kind of a nerve-wracking thing for me, so all input is greatly appreciated. Also, do you kind of like how I put colors together, patterns together, styles together? That's always really interesting to hear in the comment section as well. That anchor one, the blue one, is, I think, really cool, but like I said, it's a gift for a friend, so he had a lot of input in it. Yeah, so if you're interested in picking up these patterns and trying them out yourself, they're available at Sewers Club. You can just order them, they'll mail them out to you. And if I do end up selling them on Etsy, I'm not sure how shipping would work. But so far I'm just thinking of shipping in the US because it's easier for me, but I might be able to ship like to Canada and stuff as well. But the shipping rates and stuff, sending things to Canada, is pretty astronomical. So if that's also something that you'd be interested in, having me like send things to Canada, let me know in the comment section as well. Yeah. So I think that's it for this video. Let me know anything in the comment section below. I am really curious to hear about your feedback. Often I ask these questions not really expecting anyone to respond in the comments, but in this video in particular, I am really looking for people's insights. So please do comment. Like the video if you've liked it. If you enjoy my revisits, most often I talk about things that I've changed. Next month is going to be that. It's going to be me talking about what I did differently than the original project. But anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to say maybe subscribe if you want to see more sewing content. I do sewing videos every single Wednesday. Next week is going to be April's Sewers Club unboxing video. After that will be the project review, and then after that is going to be a patio furniture project. Fridays are a long-term project. We commence our brand new cross-stitch one on Friday, and then Mondays are miscellaneous. The first one will be, or next Monday is going to be either a Cat Lady or a Sophie and Toffee unboxing. I'm unsure. Whichever one arrives at my house first will probably be the one that I talk about. So, with all of that being said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this video. I really appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, I'm gonna stop babbling. So yeah, I guess I will talk with you again soon. Bye.